I'm Mark Crutcher, president of Life Dynamics in Denton, Texas. For about a year now, we've been doing research into the issue of teen pregnancy in America. I'm joined now by my assistant, Melissa Yeaman. Hello, Melissa. How are you?
Good morning, Mark. I'm doing just fine. We've been keeping busy.
Tell everybody what we found.
Well, we've made some amazing discoveries that are quite disturbing. First of all, we discovered that among girls ages 15 and younger who become pregnant, between 60 and 80% of them are pregnant by grown men. Disturbing enough.
Right.
And if that's not bad, we've come to a point in America where a junior high school girl is more likely to become pregnant by an adult male than a boy her own age.
And we've also discovered that there's some pretty disgusting consequences, disturbing things that happen as a result of this.
That's right. The consequences are very devastating. When you compare these girls who have these unhealthy relationships with girls who have relationships with boys closer to their own age, these girls are most likely to have multiple sex partners and engage in very dangerous sexual behaviors.
Yeah, we know they're also more likely to drop out of school.
Right.
They get involved in drugs and alcohol more often. And let's make a point, too. We're not saying necessarily that girls should be involved in relationships with boys their own age.
Right.
But we're just saying that if you just compare girls that are sexually active with boys near their own age with girls who are sexually active with adults, these are the problems that happen to them.
Well, these girls are very vulnerable, and when they're with an experienced adult male, they're often lured into more dangerous things like prostitution or pornography,
Right.
and obviously they're more likely to become pregnant.
They are more likely to get pregnant. We also discovered some other things that are, the list goes on and on.
Oh, and it just adds up to some very shocking effects. It's definitely an adverse domino effect. First of all, sadly, these girls are most likely to, they're significantly more likely to attempt suicide. And the most shocking discovery we made is that the highest rate of sexually transmitted diseases in America now is among girls ages 15 and 19. And the studies show that they're getting these diseases from these adult males.
Right. You know, most people, I think, if you interviewed them and said, who has the highest STD rate in America, they'd probably say it was some group of males.
Right.
You know, middle-aged men or younger men who are promiscuous and so forth. But it's actually 15 to 19-year-old girls.
Because they're getting it from these adult guys.
And they're getting it from these adult guys.
Basically, the problem we have here is when these young girls engage in sexual activities with these adult males, they're setting themselves up to be lifetime victims where they see their self-worth solely, with sex.
Right.
That's where they get it.
It's whatever they can provide sexually to a relationship is how they view their worth.
They're going to continually have sex to get love.
Right, that's right. And that's a pattern we see across the board. There is nothing that we found that suggests that these relationships can be healthy relationships. These are unhealthy relationships.
And we know across the board any type of sexual activity among teens is not healthy, but this is really disturbing.
Yes, it really is. Thanks a lot, Melissa. One of the questions we have here is, how did this get under the radar screen of the American people? How did this epidemic get its grips on our country without the American people knowing about it? And now we can tell you what the answer to that question is. Understand something, in all 50 states, healthcare workers who have knowledge of potential sexual abuse of children are mandated to report that to the state. We recently did a study in which we looked at whether organizations like Planned Parenthood and National Abortion Federation are actually doing that. Do they report to the states as they're supposed to? We went undercover. We had a young lady that we hired who is actually in her early 20s, but she has the voice of someone who's much, much younger. We had her portray a 13-year-old girl who was pregnant by a 22-year-old man and calling around looking for an abortion. She made it clear that her only motivation for this abortion was to hide this illicit relationship from her parents and from the authorities. And what we now know is that these organizations are more than willing to do that. We called every National Abortion Federation and Planned Parenthood facility in America. And the bottom line is, in our research, we uncovered something America's child molesters have known for a long time, that there are people and organizations who will protect them. When men who prey on children for sex hear the term family planning clinic or abortion clinic, they know what it really means is sanctuary. They know that these are the places where cover-ups are bought. Now we're going to let you hear just a few of the 800 phone calls we had with these facilities. And when I come back, you're going to meet one of the victims of this unfolding national scandal.
Oh, okay. Let me stop you right here, because if you tell me anything else, I have to call the police.
Why?
Because you're 13 and your partner's 22, right?
Yeah.
That's against the law. I have to report it by law.
Oh.
So I don't want to know your name or anything about you if you don't want me calling the police.
Okay.
So what you need to do is you need to call completely anonymously and, talk to someone on our appointment line.
Okay.
And don't tell us anything about who your partner is.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, but it's a legal thing. So,
Well, what could happen?
well, he could get in trouble, not you, but he could. So,
Well, are you going to tell on him?
no, I
Oh.
won't. But maybe when you go to the doctor, you shouldn't tell him how old your boyfriend is.
Oh, okay.
I think that would be better.
Okay.
Just, maybe have a girlfriend come with you and tell him your boyfriend's 16 or something.
Oh,
Because he could get in a lot of trouble.
okay.
Okay, so don't say anything about that.
Because you go in front of a judge and then he grants permission for you to have an abortion without your parents finding out.
Okay.
My problem is that if I were you, and this is just strictly off the record, if I were you, I would not say anything about your boyfriend being 22 years old.
So what I'm saying is, if we're not going to ask if you don't tell us.
Okay.
So, he can definitely bring you in, and there's no problem with that at all. Just probably I'd have to just suggest that you don't bring up the age thing to us.
You can come in. You don't need your parents' permission.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, it's just my boyfriend said that he would pay for everything. Would that be all right? Like, it's just we don't want a whole bunch of people to know about us. Would he have to sign anything?
Yeah, but I just don't talk about his age.
He's 22.
Yeah.
You know what? I would not bring him in.
Just don't bring him in at all.
That's right.
Oh, okay.
Forget that you told me that.
Okay. Okay, and they wouldn't have to tell my parents?
Right. And I wouldn't advise you to say anything about your boyfriend being 22 because that's statutory rape.
Because you are a minor and he is older than 18.
Yeah.
Okay, it's called statutory rape.
But he's not raping me. I mean,
I know,
we're gonna
but
get married.
I know. I don't believe if you do not give us that tell us, do not, when you go to Norwich, you're going to want to give them a call.
Okay.
Don't tell them that information.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
And then it'll be okay.
If you do not say the age of your partner.
So if you tell, or if any client mentions this, that person would have to, under law, contact authorities.
Oh, okay.
If if that is not known, then that's not known.
Oh.
That's what matters.
Okay.
So that's basically, and that's the only general information.
So if I don't say anything about him, it'll be all right?
Well, I can't say that either. Like, I'm not supposed to say anything about that.
Oh.
But I think you got the picture.
Okay.
Okay?
So nobody would find out about him?
We don't even want to know about him because technically we would have to report him to the cops.
Oh. Okay.
Like I said, that's statutory rape.
Well, do you have to say anything about it?
I don't know your name yet.
Oh, okay.
So at the moment, let's keep it that way.
Okay.
Actually,
Yeah.
that's considered statutory rape.
Okay.
He's 22.
Well, what can I do?
You need to come in and let us evaluate you.
Okay. Would you guys have to tell anybody?
Here, no, we don't tell anybody anything.
Okay.
We try and keep things confidential, but if it's something the clinician feels a bad feeling about, then she might call and report it.
So I shouldn't tell her anything?
Well, that is true. You could do that if you wanted to.
Oh, okay.
So you could change his age or something if you feel that you need to.
Oh, okay.
Don't tell anyone I said that.
All right.
Okay?